Welcome to your Cochrane Right Now. This is a weekly podcast all about the best town in the world, Cochrane, Alberta. My name's Eric Ruddle, joined by Lauren Meister. And Lauren, we just found there is a team of firefighters getting ready to walk a ton of stairs, just like 58 flights or something.
That's not that many.
No, I feel like pretty much anyone could do it.
Yeah. Well, the best part about this is they're putting on like 60 pounds of gear while doing this. Yeah, you think you could do this?
Oh, yeah. Well, no. But they have like a pretty good team going on right now of firefighters. I know Mayor Jeff Janug's in there. The CAO is also going up, and they've been training hardcore. The mayor himself said, you know what? I'm going over there several nights a week to actually train and walk the steps up at the
they
tall
have the tower, that one random tall tower. Well, it's not really random. That's how they do their training.
Random, so weird.
It's random in the sense that, it's the only really tall tower that we have in town, but it's there for a purpose. They do like ladder training and stuff there too.
They don't climb the Calgary Tower, do they?
No, they do the bow, like the big bow building. Is
that bigger or smaller?
It's way taller than the Calgary Tower.
Okay. We could probably do the Calgary Tower then.
Oh, that's teeny tiny compared to the bow.
But it's pretty cool because they are doing it to raise money for cancer relief. So here's hoping they can do it all and do all that stuff. And maybe next year.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be willing to give it a go. My thought is if I put on like 50 or 60 pounds of gear, I don't even know if I could do like an extra step.
Yeah, maybe we'll just start by trying to do even those stairs at the ranch. Oh. I think that's probably, if you could do that, maybe.
I think they did
58 times.
During COVID, they tried doing that actually because they couldn't do it indoors because of restrictions and stuff. So they did it outside. So could you imagine with like the elements, the heat? With all the gear? Whew.
Oh, no, that's good tricky. On them. It shows that firefighters are probably the most fit people in Cochrane, but here's hoping they can raise a ton of money. And did you see this new feature being opened up in town actually this weekend, this Saturday? Seniors on the Bow have been working so hard to make this labyrinth. Have you seen this?
I've just seen photos of it. I haven't seen it in person. I've never been in a labyrinth before. Have you?
No, labyrinth to me screams like maze, screams stressful, get lost, and that's not what it is.
No, though it's the opposite. You're supposed to go there and it's supposed to like relieve your stress and just kind of be a zen place and go there and just kind of wash your worries away.
What I love most about it is it looks very pretty, but the amount of work that has gone in because these rocks are beautifully painted and we've been following along with the construction of this. It is no small task. And if you or I tried to put this together, you can imagine it wouldn't look like a circle at all. Like, it is impressive.
I feel like you would get lost in the maze because it'd be like all wobbly. But this is like perfectly little circles, and then in the middle you end up in a gazebo, so you can go kind of hang out. But then as you weave back outwards, do all your worries come back again? Like, that's what I'm confused about.
You get the break for a little bit. No, I'm sure it's actually really special. So it's right by the Bow River side of SOS Center, kind of near the campground there. And it's going to be a ton of fun. It's open to everyone. Just because it was built by the seniors doesn't mean it's not. And it should be a really cool place. My kids love painted rocks and stuff, so I'm sure we could spend an hour there just exploring it all.
Tell them not to pick them up.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's not a circle anymore. And we just came off of a historic election here in Cochrane, and Peter Guthrie, he won in a very late night. I was noticing all over town, people are like, why are we last? We were actually the last riding. Don't want to throw no grief towards the volunteers counting in the Cochrane area, but come on, guys. Come on.
We might have been one or two volunteers short or something because I don't know what the holdup was. It was so slow because we were watching all the ridings in Alberta, and we were like the last riding to get our numbers. So nothing really changed. Numbers as far as the amount of votes per party, that changed, but we still have the same MLA. The premier's still the same. But it was a really, really late night, and same leaders.
But it was really cool to see going into this election, Cochranites, we care about this, politics and all that stuff, because we were in the top 10 for pre-registration voting. And when you look at the populations of other places, for us to be in the top 10 means we care.
So I'm part of that.
Nice.
Thanks to me. You are not, though.
No,
you didn't
I went
pre-vote.
day off. day of. You want the excitement, baby. Except for that I went to the wrong polling station, and they're like, why are you here? I didn't have my card because I don't check my mail. I'm a great adult, okay? But no, it's also cool. We were making fun of the volunteers, but they were fast, like just getting you in and out. But now, are all the signs gone? We are 72 hours past now. Yeah.
Are we?
Math
Today's Thursday.
Radio.
1, 2, 3,
minds.
4 days.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's 3 days. I don't know. I haven't seen any signs. I'd have to go for a drive. You know, I always find, though, like, some signs maybe get buried in trees or bush or something. So sometimes you will see an extra sign creep up. But I think for the most part, all the volunteers have done a good job to collect the signs.
And Peter going to get signs along with his team, probably like, yay, we did it. What if you didn't do it? Does it kind of like, oh, I don't want to go get the ones by Mitford? Like, do you keep them? Because you never know. You might be mad now. You might be like, you know what? I'm not doing this again. But in 4 years, things change. You don't want to throw out your hundreds, if not thousands of signs.
I guarantee they're spending a ton of money on these signs. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works because I don't think it's the people running who are collecting the signs.
Maybe.
I think it's their volunteers. But that's true. Maybe their volunteers are like, I went to all this work and I put all the signs out and you didn't even win. So now it's on you. You got to go pick them up.
Maybe
I don't know.
you blame your volunteers because you're like, if you did put it on that road, if you put it over here like I told you to, I would have gotten the votes.
That's true because placement is everything, right?
Exactly, right? So I don't know. And of course, Peter Guthrie's office is just down the street from us. It's pretty big. Does he just kind of stuff all of his signs into like a back closet?
Well, that's that extra office in his office.
Oh, really?
Storage. I've never even been in there. I have no idea.
It's nice that it's wrapped up now, right? We can move on with normal life. But it was really, really cool. Last week, Glenbow School was celebrating quite the milestone. 40th year here in Cochrane. 40!
That's incredible. So 1983, that school has been around that long. Also, how is that 40 years ago? Isn't that 20 years ago?
Right? Like you're like counting, you're like the 80s. Yeah,
20 years ago, but really 40 years ago. So they did this whole week long of activities where staff and students dressed up for a day. So we took part in that. We had a lot of fun. You rocked out this awesome outfit and you even grew your hair for it.
I did, yes. No, it's fun how fast because we found out day of. They were like, hey, we're doing this 80s party if you guys want to come by. And you, for some reason, have like a whole closet full of 80s clothes.
It's like a tickle trunk.
Exactly. Myself, not so much. So I cut the sleeves off of my prized jean jacket and I went as a rocker. But what we were most surprised about was not us or the teachers, right? It was the students.
I know.
How do you even know what the 80s are, let alone the 90s or the early 2000s?
I don't think they do know. It's their parents who are like, here, kid, wear this. It's really cool. And probably the kids are like, this is really, really weird, but sure, I'll wear it anyway.
Dad, my side pony's too tight. No, you will wear it. But man, there were some great costumes there. And Friday, I didn't really get this. They were like, we are having hot dogs.
Boiled hot dogs.
Why is that 80s?
Because that's what people ate in the 80s, boiled hot. So they had boiled hot dogs and Ripple chips.
Okay.
That was like a staple in the 80s. That's what people ate.
Do we not boil hot dogs anymore? Is it uncool to boil hot dogs?
Well, I personally feel like it was always uncool. I would
What?
never eat a boiled hot dog
No.
myself. Would you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Boiled hot dogs? Let's go.
So get this. My husband, when he was a kid, he would go to school with a thermos of boiled water, and his mom would put in 2 hot dogs into the thermos, and he'd go to school. And by the time lunchtime would roll around, the hot dogs were cooked in the boiled water. And that's what he would have for lunch. So then he'd also have like a bun and then like ketchup and
the drink, the hot dog juice, right? It's all in there, all in one. It just takes a swig. Yeah, that was good times. Good times. But huge congratulations. We were actually talking to a teacher who started at Glenbow 40 years ago, and she still subs there now.
That's so cool.
And she said at the time it was a top-line school. Like people came from the States to come check it out because they had solar panels and all the. And then she's like, the solar panel's broken. Now they don't have them. But it's
pretty cool. It's a cool story.
Exactly. And now we go into it and we're like, this is a classic school feeling.
Oh, it reminds me of my elementary school. It's just like this really quaint little school, and just the community at that school. My kids don't go there. Your kids don't go there, but I know a lot of my friends, their kids do go there, and I've never heard one negative thing about that school. Like, it's one of the most popular schools here in town, and you can just tell by going in there that it's just the pride there and just all the cool murals up on the walls.
Yeah.
It's a great school.
It was awesome. And also awesome, Light Up is officially coming back, because if you don't follow along with this huge event, 15,000 people every single year go down to historic downtown Cochrane to celebrate the start of Christmas. And for the past 10 years, Stephanie and her team of volunteers and friends have put it on. But Stephanie said, you know what? A decade's a long enough time. I'm going to step back, and I'm going to let somebody else do it this year. There was a point where everyone was like, oh, somebody else will do it. And it was kind of up in limbo.
Right.
But now we know a group is taking it on.
Yeah. So the Rocky Mountain Rotary Club, they're the ones taking this on. So you were right about your source. I know that
yes,
you had a source come to you a few weeks ago and say, you know what, this is what's going to happen. And I had a different source. But anyway, that's
wrong.
That's behind us. So this is pretty cool, because they organize other events. They have a golf tournament that's coming up as well. And outhouse races, which is really, really cool. But right now, for the first year or so, they're going to kind of keep it same as they want to kind of get their footing underneath them and make sure that everything runs smoothly. But already the wheels are turning, and they have some great ideas in the future.
No, and really, how much can you change right now? Maybe make it bigger, I guess, but 15,000 hot dogs alone is a hard get.
Well, and there's like 15,000 people that come. Like, it's a massive event. I don't know how you could cram more people into downtown Cochrane.
You'll be surprised.
Unless you shut down more streets, maybe.
Yeah. So we're going to see what they have this year. They say no major changes, but it's still, 6 months away? I don't know. It's the middle of spring.
Yeah, it's more than 6 months, I think.
But you got to imagine they have to start planning this now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, not only just to get the hot dogs, but the vendors and the fire pits. Well, 100%. It'd be funny if you talked about this event, because it's such a staple for us here in Cochrane. But you're like, we go downtown, and it's really cold, and we eat hot dogs. They'd be like, cool.
But people come from all over to eat the hot dogs. And all the different businesses compete for who has the best toppings on their hot dogs.
And there was a point with last year that they said, you know what, the hot dogs are too big. It's too much of an ask. No hot dogs. And they had to change their mind within like a month.
Cochranites protested.
Exactly. We don't stand for much, but we stand for hot dogs. So it'll be really cool to see what they pull off. But we have always wondered, if you are driving towards Calgary, I know, the worst, but if you're driving towards the city, and right near Cowway Park, there is actually like circus act going on there. And you and I were like, what is this thing? And we found out. It is trapeze, and we got to try it, and we didn't die, surprisingly.
It is actually very surprising. I'd never done trapeze before. I'd never even done anything remotely like trapeze. Yeah. But it was always something on my bucket list, because I love Cirque du Soleil, and I was like, that looks so cool. And also, they always make it look so easy. Not as easy as it looks for me, anyway. The first time I walked or went on the ladder, just going up there, I was shaking. I'm kind of afraid of heights. It is really high up there.
25 feet off the ground.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, but only 16 feet of a drop before you hit the net.
Oh,
so you'd be fine. So bad.
I mean, to be fair, we were fastened in on a little rope and a belt. But the belt was so tight on me, I couldn't even breathe.
You got to give it to these trainers, because there were several of them who came out. Huge shout out to Rocky Mountain Flying
Trapeze. Yeah.
Huge shout out to them, because they came out with so many trainers, and some of these ladies, they're not the biggest, right? They're just tiny little ladies. And one of them was the one that like holds you while you grab the bar and stuff. It's just her holding you. Yeah. And you're like, oh my goodness.
And you have to lean completely forward.
Keep leading. And she's like holding you with her pinky. She's like, I got you. No worries. And you're like, oh. But the speed that they trained us in, we were actually doing trapeze.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. I know you came out with a few war wounds.
Yes, that's not uncommon. But yeah, I kicked the bar and I ripped open my hand a little bit, but
a little bit of blood.
They just like did me up and I could keep going.
Bandaged
it was great.
you up, no big deal.
And we're such babies. We're like, my hand.
My hand is still a little bit sore, but it was so cool. I definitely used muscles that I didn't know existed on my body. It's just over a week since we did this, and I can still feel it. Yeah. Well, the odd time I'll move in a certain direction. I'm like, ooh, that muscle is there. Yep. But it was so cool.
It's so awesome that these little gems are just around Cochrane, right? So you could go check out that Yamaneska, and we're going to find more throughout the summer, I swear. So that is everything going on in Cochrane right now. You can grab this podcast on all your favorite services. And until next week, talk to you again soon.